The world we once knew has been lost to shadow. Was it sundered in fire and brimstone? Drowned in flood and rain? Was it tragic decadence? A great fall? Unspeakable corruption? Or did the awakening of magic destroy our world? No one knows for certain. Reach through the shadowy mists. Find a fragment of land infested with shadowy corruption, yet lit enough to find your way. Find a creature of light, a sylph. They are friendly and willing to guide you. Perhaps the two of you can find other survivors. Perhaps this land can serve as a shelter. Perhaps together you can build a sort of haven. Forge friendships to save the world.
Hello, hello, and welcome to the Unleashed Games weekly playtest, where you join me, Irena, CEO of Unleashed Games Live, as we playtest through our active development build of Haven, Forge Friendships to Save the World. We're building a family-friendly cooperative role-playing game set in a fresh fantasy universe, very lightweight on the lore and high gear on the action, because we are building an adventure generator for you to play with your family and friends. But these games take a while to make. And one of the things that happens in games often is that these games are built in a vacuum, in a black hole, and the team never sees the light of day. That's kind of black hat, sorry. But usually they're built in a vacuum. You don't really hear about the game at all until it is very close to release. And we have decided that we wanted to experiment with something a little bit different. So we've been building our video game in the open since day one. May 22nd of 2023 was when we checked in our first line of code. And we've gone through some ups and downs. We've raised some money, we've run out of money, we've gone to conferences, we've tried to sell parts of our company to raise more money, we've tried to get publisher deals. You know what? We have a whole story and history that we have saved here on our live stream, our weekly live stream, that, those of you who have been with us for, the whole run. And I see some of our friends here today. We've got Tozev, it's great to see you. Oh my gosh, stalwart and an awesome, awesome artist, and now a budding game developer because he's joined our community and has been helping us out. Um, we have lots of other friends that we've met here on stream that have come and started helping us build this game. But you're here for a couple of things. One is an update on where we are. And coming out of GDC, we had a lot of momentum as for investment, but we had one in particular, an investor that was interested prior to GDC, and they actually ended up declining just recently. And they didn't give us any clear indication of why. They just kind of, went silent. They demoed our game, and then just went silent. And when I asked for feedback, they just said that they were declining. And when I asked for more specific feedback, I did not get an answer. And that's kind of something that's been happening. I've been noticing not just with us, but with lots of other game companies that are building actual like consumer games, is that investment is just falling short on supporting these teams. And it's really heartbreaking because there are some incredible products that are being developed right now. Like Bill Roper and his team are building a phenomenal like Cthulhu survival game. Like, I want to be playing that. And Heather Serlin and her team are making a very Watership Down animal based like adventure RPG single player. Um, on and on. Leo Hoyer is making a like a very Kim Possible, Phineas and Ferb vibe, like adventure multiplayer RPG. Like so many great products out there. What's another one? Paul Sawaya and his game, his roguelite, rogue like elsewhere. He like such a cool product and really unique ideas. Like really a an area of innovation that is a little bit too big for indie and yet too small for big publishers. And we're going to lose a lot of these projects. And if there weren't already like a ton of amazing, incredible projects in game development or in games that have been left on the cutting room floor, like to see stuff like this go is actually like kind of heartbreaking. And I don't want them to go. I actually want to see their games because I really want to play them. And there are lots of different ways that we can go about raising money these days. But one of the groups that I run into that like I got connected up to through DC was Fateless. I don't know if you all have heard of Fateless. Their website is fateless.gg. They have a really cool game that they're building. It's a hero collector called Godforge. And what they've done is that they've just built it like with the community and had the community fund it. And they haven't done a Kickstarter, I'm not sure, but they have raised, I think, over $8 million by just selling the game to the community and developing it live, essentially, similarly to the way that we have on YouTube. And I find that fascinating. That is so cool. Like no corporate masters involved. It is just people who love games coming together and trying to build a game that they like really resonate with. Something really interesting there in terms of what the future of the games industry looks like. But speaking of which, and talking about what the games industry looks like in the future and in the past, our guest this week, my friend who I've made while fundraising for Unleashed Games and really like resonating with his taste in games and what he finds compelling, and also like the really cool products that he's gotten to work on, like games like Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, Bioshock, Civilization, Destiny 2, like ah. And also, he is mutually a huge Radiohead fan and nerd. Drew, I'd love to welcome you. Drew Smith, everybody.
Hello.
Where are we? We're putting you on screen. There we are, friend.
Hello. How
Hello,
are you?
sir. I am doing great, and my cat has decided to say hello to you.
Which cat is this?
This is Mochi. Everybody, meet Mochi. She's going to now circle me like a shark for the next half hour. Maybe I'll pet her.
All right. You have to get a hairless cat for that. There was a part of me that really felt like I should do that at some point. Just get it and name it. Mr.
I would support
Bigglesworth.
this.
I realize, by the way, that perhaps I've made a mistake here because I have not windowed my screen. So my entire screen is just the game, which is great. However, I can't see you at all. So maybe I should close it and restart it in window.
Yeah.
Let me do that very quickly.
We're shifting around screens for sanity. But how have you been, friend? How was your GDC?
I think it was pretty good. It was surprisingly busy, which is a good thing. I it's always surprising to me that I don't know, maybe it's not surprising, but that I am able to keep it so busy. And since I wasn't actively meeting with investors, I think that's what was surprising, right? But I was constantly in meetings pretty much all day, talking about the state of the industry, talking about work, talking about the studio, seeing people that I hadn't seen in a long time. Because as you mentioned, I worked at several different places. So sometimes, I mean, for example, I saw someone from Bungie that I hadn't seen since 2013. So 12 years,
Wow.
which is crazy.
That's what I love about GDC, is just running into old
We
friends.
planned it, so it was kind of cool that way as well. But yeah,
That's
I have a
awesome.
question for you. This is gonna sound nuts, and this is gonna ruin my cred. But when I went to Google, I started using Macs because they use it, and now I can't remember how to open. Like, can I open this just as a window without opening it to expand to the whole screen? Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
What, the game? No, I think it's only set to, this
Oh,
is a
it's only set to full
prototype,
screen.
so we don't have lots of
Yeah, that makes
configurability.
total sense. All right, so it might just have to be full screen, and that's okay. So I'm just going to run it in full screen, and I won't be able to see you or Mochi.
Well, Mochi is extra sad
Mochi,
about
I'm very
that.
sorry. Please accept my apologies. If you need to do a couple extra laps around Irena, please do that.
Yes. Do 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 do. Cat shark.
But yeah, so I don't know, like a little bit about you. You mentioned some stuff about me, and maybe a couple other interesting things if people are curious. But like, I would say that I'm a prolific writer. I write a lot on the industry, on games, like dissecting design, all kinds of stuff. And I've been doing that for what year is it? 2025? 19 years almost. Like, and not it
Wild.
wasn't always regular. I'd say post the Bungie years, so the mid 2010s, I kind of dropped off a little bit and didn't write so frequently. But in the past year, I always kept it up at some irregular pace. But in the past year, it's been consistently every 2 weeks, except for the holidays. Yeah, and I've done a lot of different things in my career in games. I've worked in production. I've worked on the business side. I've done design in mostly in Unreal, and I've even done some art in Blender. So I'm a very multi-classed person, which I think is pretty important in starting any. Like, you better know how to do different things.
I couldn't quite pigeonhole you in like a description, but like you're so talented.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't believe that. I believe I always believe that.
Well, the heart of being humble is important as well, but at the same time, you've been in so many places. I mean, I didn't even mention your time at Twitch and doing BD there, like, and how you help grow the games business at Twitch. That's huge. Um, but really, that's actually one place that I wanted your opinion and wanted your advice. Like, here we are, we're trying to build a
Yeah,
community, and it's been like
sure.
slow going in terms of growing the audience. And our viewership has gone up and down. We've had as high as like 900 people watching us at one point, and we've had as low
Right.
as like 4. Like, considering how games and games communities are built, and I have a feeling that you have a really great handle on the pulse of gamers. Like, what kind of advice would you give to a studio like ours that needs to build a groundswell?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think there's a lot of different ways to. I shouldn't say a lot of different ways. I think there are different methods for different types of games. I think that world can bring people in. Like, if it's a really compelling world, that can get people excited. Like, and there has to be enough preview information, things that people can look at. I'm speaking generally right now, by the way, not specifically about anything.
Yeah.
But that can get people excited. Like, if you have an established world, then that obviously does something. I'd say another thing is how like the actual gameplay of the game. Like, I'm thinking about, like, is it a co-op game? Is it something like, what are the age groups that you play with? And I know this does matter for you guys, right? For Unleashed. If it's something that you can play with your family, with your kids, that's a huge deal. But I think it's then understanding, and things change. I don't want to say they change so rapidly, but at least a little bit. Where what's popular with kids at the moment and what they identify with, and how you can like tap into that world. Like I think if you were to get a groundswell within a younger demographic, then that could help. That could help bring people together. But I think there's also, and like the question there is it has to be for most, and I'm thinking specifically of Haven and what I know about it. Now it can't be in that space where the kids are too cool for their parents, which thankfully has not happened to my son yet. He's 4, so
I don't think it's happening as much with this generation
as it
as
was in
it
the past.
was with prior.
So that's
with
interesting.
ours.
So I think that there's a connection there. Like if it can be a real way for parents and children to connect and to do something together, and that's certainly happened with WoW or other games in the past to some extent.
Yeah, I think it proved the proved the possibility.
But it was
right?
also, at the time that WoW was, say 2004 plus, but 2004 to 2014, let's say that's the prime years of that game. I might be wrong about that. Certainly at the beginning, though, you had a lot less parent-child game combos, right? The parents at that time probably weren't playing games, by and large, not everybody, but so I feel like now maybe there's a bigger space to do that, right? Like now there's a lot more parents that certainly play games, and they have.
Yeah, we who grew up playing video games are now
Right.
of parenting
Exactly.
age, right? And we've been primed to play games like this for our with our kids, but like I think we're still making or considering the audience as it was snapshot like 20 years ago, and we need to update our thinking to like parents that know how to handle a mouse and keyboard, and parents that know how to use a controller.
Sorry, I'm laughing because I like that. Like, I know my way around a mouse and keyboard. All right, let's. Not my first time with a controller.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
But if I tried to teach my dad, which I did several times, how to play, like trying to teach him how to play a 3D game was impossible on a controller, and we never really did it on a mouse and keyboard.
Exactly. I think my grandmother on my dad's side was more adept at computers than my mother was, or is. But at the same time, I think it's our generation. Now we have adolescents. You have a young one, but like there's this generation of kids that are growing up with parents that also like love video games. So there's an opportunity there to merge both audiences together. But like, who do you speak to first? Because parents don't have time. The kids.
Like here, I'll give you an example. So like what my wife and my son have been playing Astrobot. Like my wife's finished the game. I finished it in maybe October or November. I forgot when. It's a game I platinumed, so I was pretty proud of that because I don't platinum a lot of games. That's a lot of time. But I was like, I'm going to get all these little Astrobots. I'm like, this game is a fantastic game. But she's been playing. She has like 283 of the whatever number of 300 and something now because there's DLC Astrobots there are. But he loves it. He loves to watch it, and he gets to hold the controller, and he can like. If you're familiar with this game, you pull both the triggers at the end of a level, and then you blast off into space to go back to choose your next area. But he can kind of run around and do little things, and it's a moment that he and they both have together. I was going to say, and it's pretty awesome because they're spending that time together, and he's really excited. It's in some ways this matters to me. Everyone's different, but. We don't like overextend his screen time. Like he doesn't use a phone. He doesn't have a tablet. Like we don't have any of that stuff, but I'm okay with limited times in front of a TV because it's a stationary thing. So he can experience that and be really excited and really into like having some input into what's going on the screen And I think also it gets him familiar with problem solving. So there's just a lot of like aspects that I really like about having him share that time with Connie.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, and I think that there was actually just a study released by or published by Psychology Today that children who grow up playing video games tend to be about 25% smarter than those who
Is
don't,
that real?
right? Yeah, no, legitimately, and I'll argue that my 8-year-old, mind you, he's like
Yeah.
the third child, and therefore they mature a lot faster. But he's been on video games for a lot longer than my other two kids, and he is so damn sharp and great with math and problem solving. And even on the playground, since he plays so many multiplayer games, he's the one who's like rounding people up and say, "Hey, come on,
Mm.
follow me."
Yeah.
In a much better way than my older two have ever
That's
been.
really interesting. Yeah. Well, I'm like, this is going to sound awful. So everyone that hears this is going to think, maybe you'll think less of me, but you kind of like when you have kids, right?
Never.
You're like, I wonder what this is going to do. Like you have that thought.
You're gonna
Yeah,
experiment on your
you're like,
kids.
let's see how this goes.
That's how we
Let's
do
see
it.
what
Yep.
it's not, and there's no malicious nature to it. Like you're just thinking like, oh, how will this affect the kid? And there's no like you can't A/B test or you can't run play test with them. Like you find out.
Well, I
You
could. I
could,
did it 3
yes.
times, so I was able to.
We're not having any more. So we have this one and he is our test. So whatever happens, happens. We're doing the best we can.
He is your
That's
practice
right.
baby.
He's the prototype, and we're hoping that we do a good job of tweaking that prototype to get him in the best place we can.
Well, absolutely. And for me, when it comes to video games, like I mean, I can play Minecraft. I love Minecraft. I think I like it a little bit too much because I kind of fall into a hole and then I forget to
Do
actually
you
make
dig
dinner
that
and it's
hole,
nine
or is
o'clock.
that just a mental hole?
I both. And I also get very like
Yeah,
objective
sure.
oriented, like we got to get all the diamonds, let's go. And I'll just be like, one more block. I get stuck in those compulsion loops
Yeah,
like everybody else, but maybe
yeah.
a little bit harder. And then Roblox, I can't touch.
Interesting.
Fortnite,
Mm,
don't even try. Like I'm not a
mm.
shooter person. I mean, I did have my hours in Counter Strike when I was, a
Yeah, in
wee
my
young
younger days.
lass. Yes, and but like if I play Valorant, I have to be carried. Like, don't even get me into Marvel Rivals. I mean, maybe I should. Maybe I'd have a
Yeah.
really great time, but I'm really an
Mm,
RPG player, and there's no like collaborative RPG style like world of like that's what
yeah.
MMOs were great for. It's like you get your friends together to go on an
Yep.
adventure together, and that's like kind of what we're trying to capture with
And that's
Halo.
exciting because like I just played Avowed. I'm actually not quite done with it, but there's a great, I think there's a great market overall, like Baldur's Gate, last year or 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, whatever. There's a great market for single player RPGs that are, I'd say, exceptionally well thought out and really well made. And those two are very different games. But I find that they like Baldur's Gate, of course, I think is maybe the best RPG ever made. Like it's certainly one of them. And yeah,
It's
right.
solid.
And Avowed is really interesting because it's kind of like an Elder Scrolls light game, and that's great.
I love me some
Yeah,
Elder
and like,
Scrolls.
but the Elder Scrolls is also it's such a big world and such a big game, and so I don't. It's not overwhelming, but it's time consuming, right? If you get into that game and you really dig into it, you can be in there for I don't know, endless amounts of time. The fact that you can pick up any object or interact with
Yeah.
anything, or Avowed kind of gets rid of a lot of that and simplifies things. There's no stealing, but there's items everywhere you can take. There's treasure chests in people's houses, and apparently they just don't care if you loot them. But I think one of the things that it really it's a game.
It is a game.
But in Elder Scrolls you get penalized for that immediately, obviously. But the fluidity of movement is amazing. Like you can move through that game at an unnatural speed, but it makes moving really fun. And I feel like in a lot of like RPGs that have existed, that no one's thought about movement, but movement's not been the primary thing, and I don't know that it was the primary thing for Obsidian. It just felt really good. It feels really good. It almost feels like you're doing like parkour in some ways. So there's like a Mirror's Edge aspect to it, though it's nothing like Mirror's Edge, and you're not doing Mirror's Edge things. But in terms of the
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Well, I think actually that's a great point, and this has to do with
no,
combat too, in that I think an underrated aspect of a game's personality is movement, and that's, keyboard responsiveness combined with how
yeah,
the
yep,
camera moves,
that's right.
right? And what is your view frustrum? And, what sort of controls do you have on your screen? Where are your eyes going
Yeah,
during combat? Are you focused on the action? Are you focused on a UI element? Are you focused on a chat log? Are you looking at somebody's health bar? I think that, and this is one of the things that I hammer home on any team that I work on. I did it on, Monopoly Go as well as
mm,
World of Warcraft, and even with Amalur. It's all about that moment to moment and how
yeah,
you
yep,
feel from your first movement. It's like Diablo 3 and Diablo 4 are very similar games, and yet they are so
mm,
completely different because of
yeah.
that very
It's
thing.
it's yeah. It's I don't know that it's. I think it's underappreciated from the public perspective. I think that generally, like game design can be. It's easy to overlook. It's easy to overlook the nuances of game design because it's so nuanced, right? For that very reason, like you don't think about the fact that in a Souls game it takes 2 seconds to swing or 1 second to swing a light weapon, with a heavy attack, maybe 2 seconds, and like 4 seconds to do
Mhm.
it with a heavy weapon. But that matters greatly. In Team Fortress 2, it was also, at least in my counting at the time, 4 seconds to recharge a sniper shot. So if you play a sniper, you know that you have to duck out of the way for 4 seconds before you can go back out. Right? There are these little nuanced things of like understanding how they impact the overall game. And each one of those things is what makes the game great. And as we talked about movement, this is not really RPG related, but just if you can bear with me for a second, I've been playing MLB The Show, and I scanned. It's quite a shift,
Quite a
and
shift.
I try to play everything, as many things as I can play, as many things as I can tolerate. Maybe that's a better way to say it.
I
Yeah,
I
but
got you.
I started playing it, and I like it. Like I'm having fun with it, and I'm just doing the career road to the show mode, which is just you're playing one single player, not the entire team. My toddler wanted his face scanned in. There's probably like a COPA violation there, but I did scan in his face in, and I gave him a mustache, so he looks like a man toddler with a mustache. It's really funny. I'll send you a picture
Perfect.
afterward, and maybe it'll be in when I'll write about it next week. So maybe it'll be the picture in there.
You should make it the lead picture, the
It's
hero
so
image of your next
yeah,
blog
actually
post.
it will be. That's pretty funny. I think I will. But he in playing
I'm here to
that
help.
game, and you made me think of this because there's whether you're batting, running bases, fielding, or playing the like RPG moment with it between those things, or like in the clubhouse, that kind of stuff, you're almost playing like 4 different games, and each one of them has a different camera and different controls. And it's a little. Did I say base running? I think I said base running, but it's
Mhm.
it's really interesting that you talk about this because I think some of the things that it has problems with, and I like the game a lot, but I also pick apart like things that could be better and things that get missed. And I'm going to caveat this by saying making sports games is extremely difficult in some ways because it's yearly. So everyone that works on those games, like, yes, you have a base that you're working from, unless you're rebuilding things completely, but you're on such a tight development schedule. It's very different from Haven or game we've been working on, or Destiny, right? Those are years. Like you have years to work on those games. You don't have that with a sports game. Like you have to come back and be there the next year and make the incremental changes you can. And if you're trying to do something big, like there's a risk there. So that said, like when you're running bases, your camera's behind the player, and here's my little man toddler standing, however far he's leading off the base, and you can rotate the camera 360 degrees, but it's hard to do that in a real fashion because you have a pitcher that's going to pitch, And it is a lot of times like the way the camera shifts, and I think this is a hard problem, sometimes shifts away from the action. So if a ball gets hit over your head into the field, it doesn't shift the camera to look at that ball. So it's not always clear to me, is like that ball going to get caught? Should I start running or should I not run? And it's something I think that could be fixed, but is a hard problem to solve when you have these like four individual games within a greater game. It's like you're really playing, it's almost like a WarioWare mode. This.
Oh God.
Like it's not that, because you can obviously
God.
just play full baseball where you pitch and you hit with each batter, and you're doing that. You're not doing the base running, I don't think. Like I think you control the base running with other controls. I'm literally not touching that part of the game this time. But yeah, it's a hard problem to solve. And that happens sometimes in fielding too, where it's like doesn't flip the camera to where the ball's going. It has indicators, but it's just, yeah, it makes it difficult. And I think that like those are the little things that you have to, that every designer should be and is thinking about, and they really can make a game really good or make it or hold it back in some ways.
It's funny because I think I pissed off the Unleashed team with how nitpicky I was about the camera. And a lot of our camera, like we went through a lot of iteration around our camera to get it to where it is right now. And there's still elements of like flourishing from Dave Cham and Martin Brochu's camera work. But I'm really curious. Now there are still some camera bugs.
Sure.
Like we don't
Always.
have occluding foliage yet, so you can get caught in the foliage. But I'm very curious to get your read on how we handled combat in the field, in the feel of the game. So before we jump in, what's your experience playing WoW? Fill me in.
Very little. I didn't play a lot of WoW. In fact, I'll tell you this:
Perfect.
my MMO experience is almost none. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to give you one other piece here. I had a D&D group in the late 90s, late 90s, mid to late 90s. As one should. I have one now too that I run this game, but I didn't run
as
that.
One should.
And I lost all of those friends to EverQuest. They all stopped playing D&D and were just playing EverQuest all the time, and then eventually WoW. But it was the fact that
EverQuest was the entry
beginning.
drug.
I mean, there was the muds before that, right? There were muds before that, but yeah, like muds were for people with really great imaginations. Not that EverQuest wasn't for people with good imaginations, but you don't have to imagine the world.
Well, yeah, you had to imagine it not looking. I mean, maybe it would be like hot these days because it looks more like Minecraft than it does,
Totally.
like a modern game.
But anyway, like they all started playing that, and I would sometimes call them like the next day, and they would have been up to like 4 a.m. playing, and like I was just like, oh my god, I'm like,
I don't relate to that at all.
And like, so I was like, I don't want to get involved in this because I don't want to get sucked in. I don't want to end up just doing that. Like I want to play a lot of games. That's always been my feeling. I don't want to play games.
One of us.
Right.
One of us. You want
totally.
to play Haven?
Let's do it.
Let's do
right.
this. Let's jump in. All right, we're gonna share your screen. There we go.
Can I log in? Tell me.
Hold on. Yeah.
Character select.
Wait, no, I don't like these layout options.
Yeah.
Let's go with this one.
I was thinking about what I had this really dumb name at Bungie that I would always put in whenever we were playtesting. It was running the multiplayer like Crucible team, but every time it was like D Smith Multiman. It's just the name for no reason. It was just stupid. So I don't even know how it came up, but I'm gonna do it here.
There you go. All right.
But I should be a healer female. Let's see. Class.
You don't want to be.
I'm gonna do a male mage.
Okay. Let's do.
That is surprisingly what I look like in real life if I put that hat on.
All
right, hold on. Oh, got it. Name already exists. Wait, what happened? Oh, I have to pick. Yeah. Okay.
There's a user flow issue.
Okay, all right. Movement all makes sense. Camera. Okay, all right. There's stuff I can hack and slash. I've got a bunch of number things here. Let me read this. That's attack. So 1 is attack. And then bolt. I think I just cast something by mistake. Teleport home, cheer. I'm just gonna cheer for fun.
As one should.
Right. Am I free to just go explore now, or am I waiting for you?
Find you.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna gather some wood. I'll take that crude hatchet. Crude hatchet weirdly was my nickname in high school. All right, that guy does not look friendly. Nothing that looks like that seems friendly to me. Target out of range. Do I have...
No. Wish you all the best. You can do.
There's the occlusion you were talking about, right? Oh, it's on auto. Okay.
Yes. So yeah, your individual attack means that you're in a combat mode.
However you want to help me.
Can you see me? Oh, you can. Excellent.
Yeah.
It's been unlucky being stuck out here, isn't it? It's nothing you can do for me, but perhaps I can help you. You know, past this bush is a great big clearing. It could be a good spot to set up something more permanent if you like. Why don't you give that brush a few good whacks and go take a look?
Psh, I got you. I've got you, Spirit. Oh, wait, there's a mushroom there I can collect. I'm going to assume it's not poisonous. Okay.
Or not that combat, but maybe it will
Maybe
be.
I can just avoid this guy. I don't know the combat yet, so I want to just get away, and I'm going to go establish my my base here because I'm assuming that's what this does. Okay. Oh. I can teleport to a place. Build a shelter and explore. What are my quests? All right. Build a house by gathering wood. I have wood. I'm going to accept. I'm going to complete. I need a house. Is that you right there?
Hello, friend.
What's really funny is every time I hear the cheer, I thought you were making that noise yourself.
It sounds
like
just
amazing.
like me.
Okay. All right. Did I just build that house? Okay,
No.
that house is there. All right. Let me go back to people. I can teleport to Adventureland too. I don't know what that means, but I just did it. Let's see how this goes.
Oh no!
Was that a bad move? Should I not have done that?
It's up to you. I didn't follow
You want me to come back?
Boring without building your house.
All right. All right. So you're saying whatever
What
I
are
do
we
is okay.
gonna
Let me
do?
come back though, because you're back there.
All right.
Wait, I just discovered jump. I feel like I have to have a magic spell I can use. Ice Spear. Come on, yeah, Ice Spear. I want to Ice Spear this guy. There we go. I feel way better about this. Oh, hey. All right, I think I'm poisoned. No, I think I'm okay. All right, I bet I can get stuff off of this guy. Mana potion, thank you. All right.
It's always good to have a mana
Always
potion.
good to have a mana potion. My favorite part right now is that I look over and I see my text box on the left there. And the last thing it just says is "You died. Try again."
Oh no!
Hello.
Oh hey, we have a friend.
I'm gonna dance. What are my other things? Oh, I can wave. Okay. I have a question for you. You have a very short timer, but you have a timer on the wave. Why did you want to do that? Why did you decide to do that?
The wave effect off of the beacon. Oh, on the
Yeah, if I like wave, it gives me like a cooldown.
yeah, the cooldown create like weird jing.
I see. Okay.
But any of the animations, other beacons, I think we can.
Yeah, let's see here. All right. All right, I'm going to do some mining. There we go, this one. Okay. Got some rocks. Wait, did I not take that? I might not have taken it. I did not take it.
I'm going to make a workbench.
I see that you're doing that now. So I probably...
I'll build a workbench over here.
I feel like I should have been a healer now.
Oh, no class.
Oh yeah, that's
in the lower right hand corner is and that should be your build menu.
Yeah, I see that.
That's crafting. Somebody's making them charcoal.
I'm making charcoal because I feel like that's necessary for the fire that I committed to build over there. I didn't look at the components, and now I'm like,
you need charcoal. Where did it go?
I'm gonna go over here.
Yeah.
Was it over here? I think this is where this might be the no, this is it. Oh, this might be the beginning.
You had a yellow beacon before.
Let's see. This is the build a fire. Okay, but to do that, I need to go here because I see that icon. I build a fire. Okay. How do I build a fire? Fire. Build. Done. Yeah, I was gonna say not quite done. Highly combustible. Okay, that's not it. How do I do this? If I add some wood, I need wood, I think. I don't have any.
Just double, yeah, you open up the fire and then double click on and hit add.
Got it. I was one step ahead.
And here I can help you build it.
I like that we were both doing the what is that called when you build, like, you learn how to build a fire in like Boy Scouts or whatever, by like going like that with your hands and rubbing your hands together with a stick and another stick and some paper or whatever it was, some kindling.
No fun. I'll be right back.
I need to
Versus.
I need to give myself some mana. Did that work? Oh, there we go. Okay. I probably just wasted that. Take that. Oh, man, it got me again. That slow is kind of brutal. Get you with that slow. I will take a luminescent branch any day of the week. Someone offers one to me. Hey, what's over here? Got a mat. Oh, whoa. Beacon to... Yeah, I thought that was a cactus. That is much more than a cactus. Both of these go to a layer. Okay, all right. I feel like I'm not ready for a layer yet. I could be wrong. I don't know what kind of layer it is. I think let's go over here to this one, as I just kind of spread out, and it feels like I have to go to one of these worlds, though. I can't just keep running around. I'm going to need to do something more than that.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Oh, your voice came in clear now.
Yay, no more robot.
That robot, it was like slow and robotic, and I was like, maybe she's really a robot and I didn't know this whole time.
I am an AI.
Yeah, well, aren't we all?
That's
All right.
why I'm advocating so much for the use of AI in game making.
Yeah, you're like, it's for me personally.
I
So
am the robot.
I want to ask, well, I don't know if you both want to answer this, but I want to know, do we go to the, I forgot what the lands are when you click on one of these obelisks.
Do you want to teleport to adventure?
Yeah, teleport to adventure or go to Kabamat's lair.
Oh, we can try Kabamat's lair, but we don't have a healer to take down the boss.
Oh, yeah, let's not do that. That's what I said, man. We needed a healer. It's my fault.
Can reroll as a healer, I guess.
Oh, that's a beacon to adventure. All right, hold on. Oh, there's another person in here. Dragon Girl.
Who's that?
I mean, Dragon Girl's just a good name. All right, I'm going to adventure.
Girl's just hanging out. But is
So
it
that's
another
part of the group?
warrior?
Is Dragon Girl going to join us?
Looking
Or are you Dragon Girl?
for a group or
You're back to your AI self.
Oh goodness.
I see. All right, let's see. I'm going to teleport to Adventureland. Here we go.
Someday I'll convince the world I'm human.
And you said, "Oh no," and I just think about the Big Lebowski, where he's talking to Maud, and she's like, "Oh no," he's like, "Oh yes, Mr. Lebowski." Oh no. Oh yes. I'm gonna target out of the zone.
Oh,
There we
yeah.
go. Come on. Bam. Come over here, Kraken Root.
So one of the things that we did for Jay before.
I'm just collecting stuff.
It's amazing.
Hmm.
That's what we do. This is a stream of chopping down trees.
They're dead trees though, so it feels like it makes sense.
Well, clearing the forest floor.
That's right. That's right. It's not a deforestation effort.
No, we're raking. Remember that?
Right. Yes, I do remember that. In fact, I consistently rake the forest.
Well, and we should always.
Where did you go?
Uh-oh.
No, I got you. I see you. I'm doing the. I'm jumping while
Find
facing
the
you.
jumping mage.
Okay.
This is the one that we have the first along, but this is constructed by. We built out a template and on its own based on template. For some really interesting things, like to our left.
Hey, you guys got those before I could get there. There's interesting things to your left, to our left. Shed
Out
bark.
of the house.
Okay. Over here, like past this house.
No, out of the house.
Let's see.
It's a giant tree coming out of the house.
There is. Oh, I moved myself into a bad zone.
Coming around the tree that's in the house.
Yeah,
I'll do what I
put
can.
myself in the hard way. Oh, I deserve that.
Yourself.
I deserve that. How do I get back to you?
You
Do I just
have
go back to
to travel. You have to travel through the portal.
Okay.
He got himself in trouble. As he says sorry. Messages because he's in a different zone.
I can see the ones that are on the left in the text box, but text box, but that's okay. Don't sweat it. Okay, where are you guys? I don't want to get. That's person seeking. It's rough. Well, these guys are tougher. Oh, all right.
That way.
Gotcha. Got some more enchanted bark. I'm back by the obelisk where I came in. I'm in Adventureland. Should I be in Adventureland? Should I go back to?
No, I'm lost in the woods.
I see you.
Oh.
Stay right there.
Yeah, I see the glowy lightsaber. Alright, we're gonna.
All right, hold on. I'm chopping down a tree. Because, if you see resources, you get them.
You take
That's
them. Hello.
Wood, hardwood, delicious sycamore. That's it. I actually missed it. Did I just go up a level? All right.
You just got buffed.
Okay, you were pointing out an exciting area. I ventured off and got myself killed, which, to be fair, was exciting. I think this is where I saw this bush. I was very excited by this bush because I was like, that's cool. There's going to be good stuff there. And I see some stuff over to the left. Oh, there's some wolf. There's a wolf over there.
Good stuff. Bush.
Oh, some clipping, but that's all right. Maybe he can't.
Oh, yeah, there's.
But clipping, at least, is not me.
The clipping, the
paperclip helper, exactly.
Oh.
Yes, we do.
Hey, the wolf animations, I see it.
Take that, wolf. There's something really funny to me about fur scraps as like a term. It's like,
yeah,
I got some fur scraps. Oh man, you're fast. Faster than I anticipated.
Creature.
For some reason, I can't target him. Why is that?
You got him.
I'm gonna cast Mirage.
Oh, you got aggro. It's my favorite part of a request, you just band up into a direction, pick a place to go, and we'd get it. It's always a ton of fun. These wolves, man, help!
I'm trying for some reason I can't. I have like a bug where I can't target him for some reason, which is okay.
I'm dead. I did friends in country.
It sounds so much sadder in the robot voice. You gonna come back to us? Tozeb, do you want to keep moving in a direction, or do you want to stay here?
You click on the menu. Because if it's glowing, how do you like the feel of the
You asked me how I like the feel of something, but then I didn't hear the rest. Oh boy, I might be in trouble. Oh, I lost Tobez. Hold on, I'm in the heat of it right now. I think I
you
may.
do this? I believe in you.
Go ahead. There's a glowing tree back. I turned it to the other way. I ran away from it because I was getting mobbed by wolves.
Go click on that
Okay.
glowy tree.
I want to be able to crouch down and sneak through the grass so they don't see me.
Uh-huh.
I'm going
That
to
would be
Cobblemut
cool.
Slayer. There you are.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh boy. Last 15 minutes. That's great.
Poor Chosen. Alright, let's build the fire. How many health do you have?
I have 1 health and 2 mana.
So I'm gonna trade with.
I like
Okay.
I build a snowman. I think it should be an option in all games. No matter what you're doing, it's like I would like the option to build a snowman right now. Speaking of that, my kid built his first snowman this winter, and it was glorious. I'm gonna. Yep. That's it's all you need.
Be happy.
Yeah.
It's one of those. And then I was like, well, take it away.
Yeah. And there's a piece of it where it's like, if anyone asks, where'd you get the hat? You're like, it's not important. Everyone should have one of these hats at all times. There's an infinite supply in your inventory.
Absolutely.
Are we doing this?
Sometimes I think games take them, and now we're just Leroy Jenkins. Goodbye. All right. We're doing it. This is gonna go well. Give him 3 health potions. We clearly.
Oh, so am I.
Oh no.
I tried to cast Mirage and that did not work out for me. I'm coming back to you. Should I come back to you? Okay. And sadness overtook the group.
Oh goodness. Yeah, the healer is, you know.
Yeah, you need to work as a team.
So here's meet me in the center of town. We can just chat because we can talk about.
Where do you want me to meet you? I see you there by the fire.
I'm kind of hanging. Yeah.
I'll meet you by the fire.
No, cozy.
Tozeb, I want to acknowledge that the Leroy Jenkins moment there it was great. It's an incredible incredible moment in gaming history for sure. I want I feel like with the fire, we should just automatically be able to sit down next to it. Just relax.
I think so, that you could set up like your long house with a fire and sit down. Animation to sit down, but oh, some not best UI, still an excuse.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of stuff to
Yeah.
but really the design of the game is village space stuff that helps you improve your
That
the
makes sense.
strength that you gather to go out on these adventures with friends, and you get more resources. But the design intended to be kind of a short, you do a little bit, you have like one big like adventure that you go on, you go out, you take him down.
And then as you move through the game, you get obvious. This is maybe obvious, but I'm just going to say it out loud, even if it is obvious.
Please.
Is that you gain access either through these points, right? Or I assume it's through these points. You just get like the list grows of places you can go. Is that right? Yeah.
And so yeah, you get a portal to next one.
Yeah. And then you're planning, like as you're going on an adventure, let's say that you are going to a place that is I'm going to use environmental things. It may not matter, but it's just more about the design, right? Where it's like you're going to a place that's filled with ice. Maybe me as a mage, I don't want to be focusing on ice spells. Like I want to change my spell loadout. And I want to invest in some other things. This is me imprinting something that may not be accurate at all. But then the party then goes and like our healer knows there's going to be a lot of certain kinds of enemies and damage there. So they tailor themselves for that adventure. And then Tobez does the same with like a build out of armor and weapons. Maybe it's not that customizable or not meant to be, but that's in my mind. That's where I see.
That's actually quite spot on. Decide what your target is. You know how in you would like want to take down a pattern that for that battle, then you'd go on that battle with your friends.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Similar pattern unlocks harder and more interesting and deeper content. Allows you to further customize your.
Sure. Which makes total sense. It made me think of something that I just forgot. Because you still have the robot voice, so every time I hear the robot voice, it's like,
oh my god, it's so
the robot voice again. I'm thinking about it.
I'm gonna have it happening.
One thing I kind of want, and I'm throwing stuff out. You don't have to take any of this, obviously, and you clearly, I would assume, thought about all this stuff. But I understand the counter to this. Like, there's part of me that wants, like, it's like, okay, I see a rock or like a tree or something, or some place I can get some resources, and my desire is to like click on it and run over there, almost in a Diablo style way. I think Diablo does that. I haven't played Diablo in a while. But I also recognize that you don't want to accidentally click on something while you're in combat or a situation like that, and then run off toward that thing. So I understand that there's like a counter thing there, but I feel like if I'm, is this okay, by the way? Can I throw feedback like this?
Absolutely okay. This is
okay. Yeah, like I want the ability to, all right, so let me talk about camera, because like, actually, let's go into that. So I got to think about this for a second. I think a lock-on mechanic would be nice. And the camera follows behind the player as the player moves around. Because when I use WASD and I move and I can rotate rotate the screen, my view with, moving the mouse. But I think it would be nice if I could lock on and then the camera would automatically follow around that enemy. So if I move, my focal point is always locked and I'm just moving around the enemy. That would, because sometimes like in combat, I can find myself, because I'm trying to maybe run away or run sideways and I'm not moving the mouse as much. This could just be, but it feels like that would make that combat, like it would make it sticky literally because you're sticking onto that enemy, but also like it allows it keeps that camera in the place that I want it to be, because I don't want to lose focus on what's trying to kill me.
That feels like it would be a little bit more actiony too.
Yeah, and it totally.
Without terms of action.
That's right. It has that little bit of action, like where it makes it feel like you're more in the moment for combat specifically, right? When you're out of it, you're free. Yeah, because I feel like, and you tell, I don't know the full design of the game, right? Like what the vision is long term, but certainly there's lethality, right? Like the boss we just fought, whose name I can't remember, but you guys certainly know. Is lethal. Like even the little Kraken roots, I think that's what they're called, are lethal. Like especially at the beginning of the game. I'm sure later in the game they won't be, but right now, I'm a pretty squishy class, and I go down pretty fast. Like it only took, I think, the boss. Like I actually when I cast, what did I cast? I cast Mirage. When I cast Mirage, and that's a 2-second cast, I think. Yeah, 2-second cast. It literally says 2-second cast. I want to say in the quickness of me looking at that while I was in combat, I was able to register that I didn't realize it fully said that, but it fully says it. So that's good. But yeah, I was dead, right? Like I got hit twice and I was dead, and I was like, oh my God, he killed me so fast. But so having that, like making sure that threat is always centered is important. I mean, it's an option, right? Like people could toggle it off if they wanted to, if some people just want to be freewheeling. I don't know if that's the right term. Freewheeling around. That would be, it seems like it could be good. All right, we don't have to keep talking about that. It just.
So what do you think about the having the reticle in the center of this, there's targeting?
Yeah, and again, I think it's and this involves balance and all these other things, right? But I feel like it's at least an option for people, because maybe everyone doesn't want to do that, right? To your point, maybe some people want to do the other style, right, of kind of aiming, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with. But for me, I definitely want to lock on and be able to, I'll say that because my spells, because I'm a ranged character, right? Because my spells are already locked onto the enemy, I just want to be locked onto them the whole time. I don't know how probably it plays similarly for melee, but I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I think if I go,
it is.
Go ahead. Sorry, you go.
Okay. In melee, and I think the mitigating factor of whether or not attacks are in range.
Yeah, right. I think the other thing that would be good for combat, but I think it also applies to this, you can see my screen, everyone can see it, I think, right? So I'm pretty close to this tree, but it's out of range. And because I'm there's right now specifically, there's no threat. But like I said, I think it applies to combat too. I'm clicking on this, then I want to I want to go to it. I said that before, but maybe it doesn't have to be like, okay, there's a tree over there. It's not. Yeah, it's not going to walk me all the way across this entire screen. But if I'm within like a certain radius of something, it just has me walk over there and do it. Like, I'm not trying to. I don't want to automate the entire game. I don't mean for that. Like, is it possible I could just push one button and then things will happen and I don't have to do anything else?
Like auto battler.
I mean, Diablo is kind of like that.
You play a game.
But I don't. But this is just more like, it feels like, and I'm just jumping into stuff. So you take and leave any of these things, and everyone here can come back and whoever's watching and just be like, "You're crazy. You don't even think that." Like, okay. Yeah, it feels like it's like a quality of life. Like if I'm like, whatever that range is, whatever that radius is from an object that you can interact with, it just makes it a little like more seamless. So I don't have to be like right up on it, but I could be back, outside of 15 feet or whatever the units might be, some number of units away, and it's totally fine.
Dramatically change the feel of the game, you think?
I lost you. You said something, but then when you got to the meat of it.
Would you think that would dramatically change the feel?
You think it would? Yeah, I don't know.
I'm curious.
I think it would just depend on, in my mind, rightly or wrongly, it feels like that in like a short radius wouldn't. If it was a big radius, it would. I would say for sure. Like if it was back here and I could just click and run over there. But at the same time, like, I mean,
yeah,
it's what feel you want for the game, right? So that's a piece. There's another piece of me here, and this probably comes. I've just been playing Path of Exile, though I'm done with it now. Path of Exile 2, I should be clear about. And again, it's what game you want to make. I'm not trying to make this game something that it's not, so don't think that. But one of the things I think that they stumbled upon that's really good. Let me clarify this. I'm not a huge Diablo fan. I used to be, and I feel like it's just too much of a slot machine now. Like the whole game is just a slot machine. I don't find that interesting. Like it's just compulsive gameplay without really anything that makes me want to play it. Go ahead. You can. Yeah, I heard you were responding. So what were you saying? So I'm not a huge fan of that style of the current style of game. What I think Path of Exile did that made it interesting, and I think it needs work. Like they need work with it. But it's something that I've been kind of going for a while. And again, that might not be the goal of this game, but they allow you to dodge right after you attack, because essentially Diablo, right, you're just clicking on an enemy and that's it, right? Basically, like you're hitting a series of keys and clicking on an enemy. That's fine, but mostly it's just a slot machine for the loot reasons. But in Path of Exile, like you hit the space bar to roll like out of the way, and whatever way, like if your mouse is pointing wherever your mouse pointer is, that's the direction you roll. I don't know that it's the most elegantly implemented system, especially in a game that's lethal like that game is, because it can get crowded on the screen, and sometimes it's hard to know where your mouse is and which way you're rolling. But I do feel like here, like it could be interesting to have, like I wanted the ability to dodge stuff or something like that. This might not play into at all what you want. But I did feel like when those the Kraken roots like spit their green goo at me. Nobody likes green goo. I think everyone here can agree on that. We don't like green goo.
We do not like green goo. No.
I just wanted to know if I had consensus. If I was the only one. Everyone else
yes.
is here.
No.
Yeah, everyone's
green goo is usually an anti-goal.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, someone might have been a big fan, and then
You don't want to offend anybody.
I am a green goo fan, but I wanted the ability to get away from it, especially being squishy. Like it's like I wanted to be able to do something to like avoid it, and I couldn't avoid it. Like it also sought me out, so that could be it too. It could just be that it shoots in a straight line. If that's something like that, feels like it would make the combat more dynamic and it's really interesting to like, because then you're adding this like I don't think it's a heavy use, but you're adding this. It's not a you're adding a different element of skill in the game too, but not an overwhelming thing. It's not a Souls game, right, where every move has to be perfect.
I find it fascinating, and it's one of the things that I've been thinking about lately, which is like the difference between a double, like an indie game and a
Yeah,
double or triple A game.
yeah.
And I honestly feel like some of that differentiation is driven by the attention paid to combat
Mm,
and the feel of combat. Like, Valheim,
yeah.
though a great game, did not spend very much time at all polishing their combat, especially when they went to
Mm,
console. It got
mm,
demonstrably worse.
mm.
But but they keep expanding the game. And same thing even with Minecraft. Minecraft has very indie roots, and combat is very basic. But
Yeah,
when you get into,
yeah.
these amazing games that you've worked on, with
Great point.
GTA, RDR, Destiny, like Bioshock, like it was all about that feel of combat.
For
And we
sure.
have like combat designers um,
Yeah,
that, have a very specialized skill set.
that's totally right.
So I think that there's I mean, I look forward to the day where I can afford to bring on a combat designer to help us, or
Yeah,
or I call Drew and say, hey, can you help us make the camera more actiony while still maintaining tab targeting? We find the perfect blend of
yeah,
like actiony while also like feeling locked and being
yeah,
more accessible.
yeah,
Like that's, I think, where the sweet spot is.
yeah. And yeah, total. That's all that's accurate. Um, we it's like the feel, right? Like there's, and that's kind of the piece where it's like I think what I believe your vision, the entire team's vision for the game is to create a really fun world where you can go adventuring with your friends, right? Go on adventures with your friends. Maybe that's a better way to say it. And have like a rich experience in each one of those spaces with discoverable things, with changing your kind of loadouts and, changing your strategies, et cetera, et cetera. And that makes total sense. So, and yeah, like that's right. You can have multiple combat designers on any big game for sure. Like it's not just one. Like Bungie had a whole sandbox team, right, which was just designing
Yep.
sandbox
And
combat that applied to everything.
And then on WoW, we had a designer for every class, right? And there were
Yeah, of
combat
course.
designers per class. And I think that that's really important. And one of the things that made WoW so special was because there was like, I think with EverQuest, the combat feel per class was somewhat accidental. With WoW, it became very intentional, and it became like almost an expression of personality. And that's something
Yeah,
that we want to like that vibe we want to lean into. Like we want this village zone to feel like a locker room where like,
yeah,
your locker is your house and all your cool stuff is there. But we also have a shared space. We didn't even get into building an arcane mill, which is a shared building. And like we have a deeper system we want to build out of like, that unlocks a stable, unlocks a blacksmith, but those are all like shared resources for all of
mm,
us. And then we build out, the stronger our village gets, the stronger they, or the bigger the combat related bonuses we get, and like the power bonuses.
yeah, but that all makes sense. Does it like does your village stay with the people? Sorry, I found some resources I didn't collect, and I'm upset about that.
I support
I
this.
was like, wait, you don't leave stuff on the ground for what is that all about?
You found some of our compulsion mechanics.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, like I'm subjected or not subjected, subject to that at any time is what I was trying to say. Wait a second. Can I chop this tree down? I'm gonna chop this tree down.
But yeah, your house goes with you as a player, and we want the villages to be like a persistent gameplay space
Yeah,
that you always return to.
well, what I was gonna ask is like, is it the same villages? So like the three of us are playing together now, and Dragon Girl was here briefly, but let's say
Yes.
she made a quick appearance, and then she said, "I'm out." But I'm curious if we want to, can we keep our collective? Because you're talking about the bonuses for a village. I'm babbling through this. Let me back up. You build your house, so you have your own house, and your own house has its own different things within it, right? That affect the village itself. And every time you play, do you then bring that house to any one of these like central nodes, or is it connected to like the 3 or 4 of us every single time?
Well, that's actually something that we're trying to sort out about how we handle a village building,
Yeah.
because we've got the piece sorted where like this is what we want to accomplish, and we're trying to do the problem solving of how we get there. So for example, like we want people to have a town or a village that they can then progress up into a town, then progress up into a city, then progress up into a capital. But is that a long-term play? Is that your guild space? And so you have to join a guild in order to be able to join a larger village, which then can create like almost like its own citizenry. Or do you log into a different village every time and then say like, oh, I actually want to stay here? Or you join a village, so then you stay there permanently, but otherwise you're just like you show up as a tent off to the side of town, and you can like almost vagrantly explore different towns.
Yeah, just be like an interloper for a short period of time.
Yeah, these are fun ways that we're thinking about bringing populations together, and how we do it in a way that like respects the established relationships, but also brings in fresh people.
Yeah.
So that there's always somebody interesting coming through, but also creating a space where like maybe you just want to have a village with you and your kids, and you don't want any strangers, and you want to keep it safe and kind of segregated, so that like nobody can ever invade that space. You just find new people in the wild.
Right. Yeah, totally. And it feels like you want a combination of those options.
Yeah, and that's where it gets complicated.
Yeah, because like you want the ability, like as a parent or family or just friends, to say like, hey, this is a closed off group and we don't want to have other people in here. But then you want, for some people that maybe come in and they are, just solo playing the game, they want to not do that. They want to be able to join up. Did I just that be your game permanently? I don't think so. I hope not. I didn't mean to.
No, you're still in town.
Yeah, I was just messing with stuff. Oh yeah, you're over there.
You're exploring.
But yeah, so and some other people that just want to, like you said, kind of. I use the word interlope. I just like the word interlope, but come in and they hold on. Just give me 1 second here. I'm going to build a sycamore staff or wand. Ooh, can I do this?
See, we've caught him with the crafting.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't normally craft. I'm not a big crafter, but I'm doing it. I mean, look, you present a system to me, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to at least explore it. All right, there's my inventory. Can I flimsy wand? I don't want that. Where's my sycamore wand? Sycamore branch. That makes sense. That's why I got a sycamore wand. Did I automatically equip it? Can I look at my character? That's crafting. How do I find my character? That must be my character. Wait a second. This whole time, I could have been boosting myself. What was I doing?
What were you doing? What were you thinking?
What was I thinking? Here we go. What's this? Flimsy wand. I don't want that.
You are capturing the exact reason why WoW is compelling as a single player game. Because we create all of these little micro objectives of, oh, I want to upgrade my hat. Oh, I want to upgrade my pants.
Yeah, totally.
And we trickle, a progress toward that objective through the crafting resources.
Yeah.
And it's that mix of exploring, getting resources, coming back and crafting them, so you have like a sense of satisfaction that like, oh, I made this, and that like loop that just kept people in WoW hooked for a long time.
Now I forgot what I was saying before. But sorry, to bring it back, because I was in the middle of something that I was thinking that was related to what you were talking about. I can build more stuff now. I like the fact. I'm just going to tell you the fact that fire and house are right after each other just makes me think of my kid and fire station. Just look at it. I'm like, firehouse. I'm like, yep, that's firehouse. But it's you want the people like the interlopers, like the people that don't have a group, to be able to come to a larger city or town or whatever it is and feel like they can join and contribute, like to open public spaces or guilds, as you mentioned. It feels like that makes a lot of sense to me, allowing people to do that. Because what you don't want, obviously, is you don't want anyone to be excluded unless they're choosing to be on their own, which, is totally fine. If people want to be on their own, they can be on their own. But
yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of the challenge of balancing, like how much do you force a player to have to play with other people, but also being forced to play with other people is actually what drives that social engagement. So it's a call that you have to make.
I'm gonna throw two. These are bigger games, but like just about playing with other people. Like just take that. Both in Destiny and in like Souls games, and like recognizing that those are big teams. But I think, if I remember right, it's been a long time. I haven't played Destiny in 8 years. Good Lord. I think that's true. It's been a long time. So, but anyway, I think when you went out on some things like it, there's obviously the social areas like that everyone's in, right? And you go into that area and there's like, you can just join into an event that's happening, a combat event. It doesn't have to be a combat event, but in that case it was. And I think and if you wanted to do like some of the harder content like raids, right, or strikes, like you'd have to, if you didn't have a party, they would party you with people automatically in those situations, but you could run through the rest of the game by yourself if you wanted to, in most cases, I think. Again, this is 8 years out, so someone can correct me and then say, how did you work on that game and not remember this? And I'll say, a lot of things have happened since then. But
it's been a while.
It's been a while. But like I think one thing I really appreciate, this is something that is always interesting to me, and like in the design of, because you want people to play with other people here. And bear with this for just a few minutes while I kind of meander through it. I think I was going to say like slog my way through it, because I might even get to a place where I don't think I'm right about what I'm saying, or I don't think it's the good advice. Not whether I'm right or not. It doesn't really matter. Like Souls games have I think one of the most interesting versions. Yes, I know, and I don't have the one. Oh, there we go. Never mind. You have the material. I didn't have the cotton. I can just come up and help you. I got you.
Well, I put you into normal video mode. Let's see. Are you guys building the arcane mill? Oh gosh, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
They were working on it.
Let me help you.
But
that's the other thing. Everything is collaborative in this game.
So, and this is actually what I think is interesting, and this is what I think is very interesting about Souls multiplayer. Souls multiplayer turns off voice by default, right? And by default, it's all randoms. I'm not suggesting this is the right thing for this game. I'm just thinking about things they do that are really interesting, and maybe there's some things that could be taken that would be interesting here. It's objective focused. So I've always marveled at the fact that that those games can be so defeat shambling. Okay, I'll do it. I'm in. I agree to your quest, sir or ma'am.
Sir.
Sir. It looks like it's a sir.
Who are we to assume any gender?
Sir or ma'am. Whatever you prefer. But before we go do this quest, because I'd like to do this, the thing that I think that they do so well is that there's no griefing in the game, which is crazy. You think there is griefing. There's griefing with the messaging, right? The messaging is griefing, but everybody understands that, and it's fun. Like, it's actually a fun part of the game. Like, whenever you're at a cliff's edge and it says try jumping, like 1 out of 1,000 of those will be a place that you need to go to. And the other 999 will just be falling to your death. But as soon as you fall to your death, you just look at yourself, you're like, they got me. Like, you have that moment. But that's also like an indirect form of griefing, meaning like it's asynchronous, right? The person who does it never sees it. What I think is great, though, is that when you partner with other people, it's an underrated part of the game. I think it's an exceptionally well-designed part of the game. And it's all, the reason you don't get griefing is because there's a common goal, and everyone, because of that common goal, everyone succeeds. Like, everybody is better for having done it. Like, you all get something. And
on the nose, my friend. You've
it's
got to have a common purpose.
And like a lot of other games, like if you play shooters and stuff, like they might, I would say Destiny and like a Raid or a Strike has purposes, for sure. But if, you know, a lot of like, if you get into even, I would argue even like MOBAs or things like that, like there's a purpose, but there's no encouragement for doing well other than winning. And that encouragement itself, the no encouragement other than winning, just causes people to be crappy.
Toxic.
Yeah. And it's like in Souls, which the goal is also to win for sure, they've done a great job because they've said, yeah, well, you get stuff for winning. So it's important that you win, but you're working together and you're facing something that you need to work together to beat. Whereas in a MOBA, yes, you need to work together to defeat something. However,
for this one round, but they're going to be your enemy the next time around.
Exactly. There's no longevity to it, and I think that just builds toxicity within that space. That's it. I just was thinking about it, and I was like,
that is a perfect point, and actually the impetus for why we even built this game in the first place, because we wanted a modern game that was built with the intention of creating cooperative gameplay.
Yeah.
Because we think that makes for better gamer communities and better relationships between gamers, and it's actually more fun. And you can learn a lot about working together towards a common goal that it can imply into your career later in life.
For sure.
It can teach you leadership skills. It can teach you how to work, take a back seat while somebody else is the center of attention.
Yep.
And it not affecting your ego. You can die over and over and over again alongside your friends. And instead of being pissed off, you're, like, oh, well, let's try again. There's so many great life lessons that you can learn in a cooperative playground like this, which is why I wanted to do this with my kids, because I can't think of a better place to teach them how to be resilient team members and potential leaders.
Yeah, right. And it's like coming up with that plan. And in a Souls game, it's hard to come up with a plan, right? But the plan there, because you can't talk, but that design has worked in that way where you don't have to talk.
Right? No, it's the messaging is so good in the Souls games and so creative.
Yeah.
I love it.
But yeah, anyway, that was my quick thoughts on that. Like, trying to
round of applause on those are exactly I think you get it, and you get why games like this are necessary. And I know we this is WoW, this is EverQuest, this is a classic MMO in terms of its vibe. And one of the things that we get pushback on when we're fundraising is that we get feedback of hey, but MMOs are too expensive, because all they think of is the scope of WoW.
Yeah.
When I think we can build something that plays like WoW, but has a tiny scope, which is what we have built. And this is a great starting point. And if we had funding to be able to polish this out, then I think that the audience would actually, just by the audience playing the game, we would get the money to be able to continuously expand it and make it even more interesting and
Hmm.
like create more zones. But you know, someday the game industry will invest in new game products again.
We hope so.
We can only dream, can we?
That was my.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, we've been playing for like about over an hour now. I mean, we can keep going, but you know, well past. We don't have Jason here to yell at us and play the air horn. Do we have the air horn sound? Hold on.
The air horn from Hot 97 in New York, if anyone remembers that, is like the greatest. I mean, it's that air horn, but it was so iconic. So
I love it.
good.
I love it.
Yeah, we
Thanks
can
so
jump out and talk.
much.
Yeah. This is great. I appreciate you letting me come in here and play with you both, and almost Dragon Girl. We'll never know what it could have been.
Well, we will never know. Maybe we could have taken down Kabamat after all.
Just saying, it's possible.
I love it. And Drew, thanks so much for taking time out of your day on this Friday to join us and play and die and weep and cry and build things together and have purpose.
Yes, I mean, you having me come out and do this was great, and it's always fun. I think everyone that watched or will watch this should recognize that it's amazing to build something in front of other people. And you said it, I think, at the beginning, where when by the time someone sees a game, even if it's a trailer is heavily scripted, and even demos, they're very, very contained. But by the time you've seen it, it's been in process for a while. It's very difficult to make games. It's not a hard thing, or not an easy thing. So it's awesome to get the chance to see something being built in real time.
Super cool. Thank you so much for joining us, Drew. And I hope that, after we make some progress, we'll have you back to kind of see the incremental improvements. And, thank you so much for you friends joining us for this stream today. We'll be back next week. We have another awesome guest. We can't wait to share. We'll be announcing it early next week. And, catch you on Friday again as we play through Haven every single week like clockwork. Have a great weekend all, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye, guys.
Hit that button and buy a t-shirt with a dragon on it, and that will help us keep making some awesome games. Looks like this. I've already seen a Unleashed t-shirt out in the wild that I wasn't wearing, and I'm super excited about seeing more of them. So, yeah, buy a t-shirt.